For our first story, we have my BF, 28 male, got me a huge surprise gift that I, 23 female, think ruined my Christmas? We have been together for 3 years, but this has been the first time we are financially stable enough to actually get a Christmas tree, a good haul of gifts, and decorate our apartment. This was always my favorite time of the year as a kid. I grew up in kind of an abusive family where I was forced to be an adult at a young age to take care of my siblings while my parents constantly worked and broke up and threw each other out, but everyone just seemed happy around the holidays. We both live across the country from our families and see them a few times a year for a week or so at a time. We budgeted enough to splurge a little this year, and we both started good jobs at the start of the year that gave us both bonuses. Together our bonuses are a combined $1,500, and we agree this is the firm budget for Christmas gifts, split evenly. I know it seems like a lot, but there are several things we have both gone without for a while when we were struggling for the first couple years of our relationship financially. We both desperately needed new clothes and a few other misc items. We both prepared lists of clothes, shoes, cologne, perfume, things for our apartment like a rice cooker, new bedding, some items for our dog. In total, I bought him everything on the list. I told him several times that I was so excited for our first real Christmas together, emphasis on our Christmas, and I told him over and over again how extremely romantic and intimate I thought it was going to be. In my head, we would simply have a low-key Christmas, stay in, cook a big meal, mess around in bed for most of the day and play video games or something. I felt like I communicated this clearly and we both agreed. I know for sure we talked about it and he never seemed to contest or ask for anything else. We spent the entire month of November talking about our mutual excitement and seeking out activities for us to do together, dates, board games, etc. We had a few dates planned. I don't know what came over him last night, but he decided to tell me my Christmas gift early. He spent a large portion of my gift budget on a plane ticket for my kid sister, orchestrated and planned with my parents to send her to our apartment to spend Christmas with us, and got my sister some gifts to open on Christmas morning so she wouldn't feel left out. He has a whole week planned for him, me, and my sister. All of our date ideas, but he included her. We will go see Christmas movies and Christmas lights with my sister. He got me 1 to 3 items off of my list, but none of these items were the things I needed, i.e. warm clothes, shoes, bras, a winter coat, cosmetics. We both made a lot of sacrifices this year while we struggled together, and I was looking forward to getting some items that would help me feel like me again and not like I was just in survival mode. My gift is that my sister is getting a vacation to my apartment. When he explained this to me, I just started crying. I feel so insanely frustrated. I love my sister, and we are very close, but it's because I am more like a parent to her. When I moved away and met my BF, I had some independence from this, but now something I was really looking forward to has been turned into a babysitting experience where I'm in charge of giving my sister a child's Christmas experience. I'm upset that my BF doesn't know me well enough to know that this was actually one of the worst things he could do for me. He knows I hate surprises and grand gestures. I told him this really ruined my Christmas, and it's something that can't be undone without upsetting my sister, who I feel responsible for. My BF is telling me I'm being ungrateful and that he tried his best to be thoughtful, but I can't shake the feeling that this was the last thing from thoughtful. Can someone please offer some insight? That's the end of our first post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, if you decide to go ahead with the sister visit, you should insist that he truly makes it a gift to you. He needs to clean the apartment, prep where she'll sleep, do the grocery shopping, do the cooking, etc. He is in charge of giving your sister a Christmas experience, not you. Our second commenter says, so, I can understand your frustration, but what's really annoying me is that since he told you the surprise early, he might as well have asked if it's something you wanted in the first place before making the arrangements. I wish I knew what was best now after the fact. Part of me wants to say have him cancel her ticket, part of me wants to say embrace it, part of me wants him to still get the things on your list. I wish I knew the best solution, but I understand why you're upset, because now with every option, you are now painted as the bad guy. Our third commenter says, at a minimum, return all but 1 to 3 of his gifts and use the money for the things you need. For our second story, we have, how do I stop my brother's dead girlfriend's mom, 55 female, from ruining my 26 female wedding if he 23 male, brings his new girlfriend, 21 female. TW. Saw, Cancer, Death. I, 26 female, am getting married in a year. This will be relevant later. 2 years ago, my family experienced 2 devastating losses within 3 months that we are still healing from. First, we received news that after a 2-year battle with cancer, my dad, 52 male, only had 2 months left to live. My brother, Zach, 21 male at the time, got special leave from the military to come home for us to go on one last family trip while our dad was still healthy enough to do so. We set out to our dad's favorite city, with plans to make some final happy memories and drink like it was the end of the world. In a way, it was. Exactly 1 day into that trip, my brother got a call from a college friend. His girlfriend, Ellie, 20 female, on and off since they were 15, had been sexually assaulted and murdered her first week back at school. It was horrific, and the rest of the time was spent consoling my brother, staying in constant contact with Ellie's mom and stepmom, while still pre-grieving the loss of our father. Words cannot express the pain to those who have not experienced it, and those who have need no explanation. For context, Zach and Ellie were in crazy, stupid love. They were never mature enough for the strength of their emotions, often brought out the worst in each other, and were constantly breaking up and getting back together. But even when they weren't together, they were still best friends. They were so young, and we all hoped that as they matured they would figure out more healthy ways of being together, in whatever shape that would take. In Zach's words to Ellie's dad, "We definitely caused chaos in each other's lives, but we loved each other." We flew home in time for Zach, my mom, and I to attend a vigil for Ellie at her school. My dad could not attend for obvious health reasons. When Ellie's mom, Deb, saw Zach, she just clung to him and cried. After the vigil, Zach had to return to base. The last time he ever saw our dad is when he hugged him goodbye. 2 months later, I dropped out of my graduate program for a semester to help my mom with my dad's end-of-life care. When it became apparent that he didn't have much time left, Deb, Ellie's mom, stepped up to plan my dad's celebration of life so that we could focus on caring for him. Deb is one of those people who knows everybody, so she was able to put together a perfect party in short order. We were incredibly grateful, but we were also aware that she wasn't doing it for completely selfless reasons. The timing worked out such that my dad's celebration was the Friday after he passed, and the following Saturday would have been Ellie's 21st birthday. Deb was throwing a big memorial birthday bash for her. Remember, this is less than 3 months since she lost her daughter, and her grief was still incredibly fresh. Planning my dad's celebration ensured that Zach would be able to attend both. Yes, the timing was serendipitous, but Deb's involvement was at least partly opportunistic. We were fine with it. She helped us so much that her motivations didn't matter. This is when things start to get tricky, though. On Ellie's birthday, Zach and a few friends first went to dinner with Ellie's dad before going to Deb's party. Deb and her ex are on bad terms, only made worse by Ellie's death. When they showed up late to Deb's party, she made sure to say something about it. When Zach flew back to base, Deb got overly involved in his life from a distance. She would send gifts, got him a Sam's Club membership, etc., until Zach finally had to ask her to stop because it was making him uncomfortable. A little under a year after Ellie's death, Zach started dating someone from his base, Rachel. We love Rachel. She keeps Zach focused. She's smart, responsible, and friendly. She also lost her dad at a young age, so she has the experience to understand what Zach is going through. They've been together for over a year at this point and are already talking about getting married. I know it sounds early, but military marriages are often pretty quick. But when they started dating, Zach was terrified of Deb finding out. On a phone call with my mom, she made the comment along the lines of, "Don't think I'm not aware of that girl." While I understand wanting to keep your daughter's memory alive, Zach was now 22 at that point. Deb was not allowed to be angry that he wasn't staying celibate for the rest of his life, and both my mom and Zach had to have conversations with her about it. A few months ago, I attended an event for Ellie's would-be 22nd birthday. This time it was a fundraiser in Ellie's honor. Zach was on base, out of state, and could not attend it because he was still recouping the extra leave time he got from the ill-fated family vacation 2 years ago. Deb brought up how disappointed she was at Zach's absence twice. This brings me to my problem. I'm getting married next year. After everything Deb did for my family, and the traumas we've been through together, of course she's invited. On top of planning the celebration, she still checks in on my mom. She never misses with Father's Day, my dad's birthday, or his death day. But Zach will be bringing Rachel, and I don't want Deb to make either of them uncomfortable. I don't know if I can trust her not to make some comment about him missing Ellie's fundraiser, or overwhelm Rachel with stories about how perfect Zach and Ellie were. I need advice on how best to navigate this situation. How do I set boundaries here that will keep the peace and protect my brother without offending Deb? Edit. To those whose only suggestion is to not invite her, please stop if that is your only advice. If her behavior indicates a problem, I'm prepared to make that decision. What I'm asking for here is advice on how to navigate difficult conversations that would allow me to avoid that outcome. My brother of course comes first, but this woman is a family friend beyond just being Ellie's mom, and I care about how my actions impact her. Thank you to all who have contributed helpful advice. That's the end of our second post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, OP, is there a friend, cousin, or whomever who can keep an eye on Zach and tactfully run interference if required? If Deb starts having a breakdown, maybe steer her gently to a quiet place, get her water and tissues, and be understanding. Our second commenter says, I think you need to be direct with Deb. Tell her if she thinks she can't handle seeing your brother with another woman. You won't be offended if she doesn't come to your wedding. She has a year to think about it. And make it clear that this is your day and he is your brother and that relationship comes first for you. Our third commenter says, I would sit down with Deb and be honest. Your brother has been lucky enough to find someone that he loves again. That it doesn't take anything away from the fact that he loved her daughter. But at some point, he does need to move on. He is too young to spend the rest of his life alone. Not to mention that her daughter would want your brother to be a happy person and not miserable forever. Tell her that you are so thankful that she has been there for all of you. However, this is the new reality, like it or not. Tell her she can choose to be accepting and loving or she will not be welcomed. For our last story, we have Mike, 23 female, partner, 24 male, of 2 years thinks I betrayed him because I messaged a woman he was texting. Do I deserve this? I really don't want to make this a long post, so I'll try to summarize. Basically, my BF, 24 male, got me, 23 female, a new phone a few weeks ago. It's the exact same phone he has. I kept mistaking my phone for his and his phone for mine the first 3 or 4 days. Well, on one of those days shortly after I got the phone, I woke up at 5 a.m. to tend to barn animals. I accidentally grabbed his phone. I clicked a notification for a MSG and read it. Once I read it, I realized I had his phone. But the message I read concerned me. It was with a woman coworker, 20 female, he has, and it was along the lines of, I really wish I could have said Happy Thanksgiving to you in person. That alarmed me, so, shamefully, I read through a lot of their messages. A lot of them were upsetting. Nothing downright flirtatious, but memes about flirting, a kissy emoji complimenting her eyes. General texts that are eerily similar to ones I would receive. I confessed immediately and asked him what his relationship to her was. He assured me immediately that it was just him being friendly, that she was like a sister to him, etc. He then said he wouldn't talk to her outside of work anymore, but he requested that he is allowed to tell her exactly why they can't talk. Because of me. It obviously made me horrendously insecure, and then I felt guilty for taking away a friendship from him and being made out like a villain. I decided in the heat of the moment that I just message her. I explained what happened. I explained that she is gorgeous and that it just made me feel so uncomfortable. I explained that he told me nothing was going on, but I just wanted to clear the air and not come across like a devil. It wasn't right of me to message her. When he found out about it, he was pissed. He said I lost all his trust, that I went behind his back, that I threatened his standing and reputation at his workplace. He stopped talking to me for 4 days straight. Now he's treating me like I'm on probation. Every little wrong I do he seems to be tallying up. He just says, good to know. Then moves on. He straight up told me he isn't sure anymore about marrying me because I messaged her. The question and advice I want is, did I really screw up that bad? I regret messaging her because it wasn't my right to, but to downright say he doesn't trust me anymore because of it and he isn't sure about marriage anymore feels so much like overkill. I'm hurting too. Reading those messages wrecked my self-esteem and I still don't feel pretty or special anymore. Did I really screw up that bad? What can I do to fix it? I've already apologized to her. I just don't know. He is counting absolutely every small mistake against me. Do I deserve this? TLDR. I found concerning messages on my partner's phone. I got so emotional that I reached out to the woman he was messaging and explained the situation to her. Now he is saying I've lost all his trust and he isn't sure about continuing our relationship. He has started nitpicking every wrong like another reason he can't marry me. Do I deserve this? That's the end of our last post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "Babe, you think memes about flirting, kissy emojis and complimenting her eyes aren't flirting? What would he have to do? Ask her on a date or kiss her? He's already emotionally cheating. He isn't sure about you because he was planning on cheating and you probably ruined that for him by contacting her. He probably told her you guys were having problems and he was planning on leaving you or had already broken up with you. You ruined that for him by contacting her. Why would you want to marry someone that you can't trust?" Our second commenter says, "I think either they're already more than friends or they want to be." Our third commenter says, "If my husband went around telling my sil she has pretty eyes and they were texting to each other, I'd be pretty grossed out. Those are some weird texts for, like a sister. Your partner is using Darvo to turn things around on you. He's probably mad because you messaging her ruined his lies to her that he was single and now he has to find someone else to cheat with." That's all for today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.